Hi, I'm Roger Wetzel. People often ask me about our assessment process and how it can assist them in their business. So I'm going to take the next few minutes and provide you with a short presentation. What I'm about to present is just a portion of the total assessment process, and yet it's at the heart of what we do and what's most very important to you and your organization. Now, before I begin, I want to provide you with the definition of a life priority code. Currently, there are 8 active life priority codes and 1 that's emerging. A life priority code can be thought of as DNA-like codes in the mind-brain. They are levels of psychological existence. A life priority code awakens as outside life conditions begin triggering latent systems within a person, organization, community, or nation. These life priority codes are ways of thinking about something. They provide reality frameworks, mindsets, and perspectives. Each life priority code transcends and includes the previous level, and they will brighten and dim, ebb and flow, depending on the current life conditions that exist. Now, these life priority codes exist in individuals within departments, in organizations, in neighborhoods, communities, states, and nations. And there will be dominant codes in each, with subsystems of previous and emerging codes depending on current life conditions. Now, I know that's a lot to comprehend, but it lies at the heart of our work, and it's why I've created a learning program based on this as a foundation. And so if you're interested, check out the Second Level Academy page next door. I've chosen to give you an example of a very real individual that took this assessment in 2012 and a short interpretation. What this culture scan assessment provides is an understanding of the underlying dynamics and ways of thinking, what we refer to as life priority codes of individuals, departments, and the overall organization. This assessment gives leaders a different view of their organization and is intended to be utilized as a point of reference and to provide insights into naturally aligning individuals with jobs to be done that best match who they are rather than the other way around. In addition, it allows for identification of those best suited to manage staff members based on certain life priority codes. As I'm sure you'll see from this presentation, this culture scan assessment is a very powerful tool. So bear with me, it's a little bit dry, and I'll be back in a few moments. So in looking at Alexander's assessment, or a portion of the assessment, we're going to look at a few things. First, we'll look at the fit factor. And this is the nature of the overall fit of a person in relation to their job, their direct supervisor, department they work in, and the organization as a whole. The range runs from 80 to 35 and higher. The higher the score, the less of a fit. In Alexander's case, his score of 21 is moderately high, indicating there may be some areas of his working life that are out of alignment. Next, we'll look at his personal priorities. These scores indicate different worldviews, expressions of life priority codes, belief structures, and operating systems. Here, Alexander's top score is in the blue authority structure or order-driven life priority code, indicating he may be very much about following the rules and regulations. For him, this is of utmost importance. His next highest score is in the strategic enterprise success-driven life priority code, indicating he's also focused on business and being successful. Next is the readiness for change. These scores indicate from left to right: alpha, stable conditions; beta, something's wrong but I'm not sure what it is; gamma, I feel stuck and I don't know how to get unstuck; delta, a surge of new ideas and a path out of gamma; and finally new alpha, stability once again. Here Alexander's score is under the mean in 4 out of 5 categories. The one we're most concerned with, though, is beta, which is 3 points higher than the mean, indicating there's a sense something's not right. And our job is to determine if this has something to do with his work life,
his home situation, or some other influencing factor. Next is his preference for change. From our perspective, there are three different types of change. First is horizontal, second is oblique, and this is where change occurs within a given life priority code, occurring within the existing paradigm. It's about renewing, refreshing, and working harder. The third type of change is vertical and indicates a shift where the preference is for change between life priority codes. Here, there's a shift in paradigms with new assumptions and structures. In other words, a reframing of the structure. Alexander's score indicates he prefers first-order change, and this makes sense given the fact his highest score in personal preferences is about following the structure that already is in place, and where existing rules and regulations are to be followed. Finally, we look at his present and desired work structures and flows. In each life priority code, there's a natural organizing principle. Each of the codes has a supporting way of thinking and underlying capacities for dealing with increasing levels of complexity. In this part of the assessment, it asks participants to compare the present and desired organizing principles and codes. The desired state is what the person believes will make the organization more successful. In Alexander's case, he sees the organization currently as an exploitive empire or power-driven, and he believes that the organization will be more successful if it is a strategic enterprise or success-driven. So in looking at this portion of Alexander's assessments, there's a few things we look at addressing. First, the moderately high fit factor score. Does this have anything to do with the higher than average beta score indicated in the readiness for change category? We'd also work with him to understand why he sees the organization as exploitive. This is also important to determine that in that it shows that he sees others in the organization, perhaps the overall organization or the sales department manager, as power-driven. In addition, we'd want to explore his ideas on how to shift the organization into a more strategic enterprise. Finally, as a salesperson, having a solid foundation of blue, as indicated in his personal preference, on the surface shows us he has a good grasp of following company policy and rules. Of course, it's important to remember there are always two sides to every coin, and there could be the chance he's expressing in unhealthy manners. Only interviewing him and others will help us determine that conclusively.
So welcome back. I hope this gives you a better idea of how we can use our assessment process with your organization. I'd like to leave you with this quote. The question is not, how do you motivate people? Instead, it is how do you relate what you're doing to people's natural motivational flows. You see, each of the life priority codes has its own set of motivational factors and driving forces. And it's by understanding these factors and forces that you can more naturally align those in your organization with what they are best suited to do, rather than trying to force someone into a position they're not suited for or ready for. If you'd like to find out more about how Second Level Consulting can assist your organization, please feel free to call us or fill out the contact form at the bottom of this page, and I look forward to hearing from you very soon. Take care.